This is my video essay looking at different types of visual and special effects and how they are used a lot in the media today. The definition of a visual effect in filmmaking is visual effects, abbreviated VFX, are the processes by which imagery is created or manipulated outside the context of live action shot. So this is basically where something is edited in post-production to create a scene that is not possible to physically create in a safe manner. This could be a scene such as Superman flying through the sky, whereas the definition for special effects is special effects, often abbreviated to SFX or SPFX or simply FX, are illusions or visual tricks used in the film, television, theatre and video games and simulator industries to simulate the imaged and the imagined event in a story or virtual world. This could be using prosthetics to enhance a person's features to make them look different, such as giving them larger nose.
Where can you go when
Here
your
you
man
see a
smells like
practical
me?
effect,
Close
which
your
is a
eyes.
trick on the eye.
Do
This
you
is where
see
the camera and
the sand
person
between your
is moved to
toes?
make it look like a person is
The
changing
pop,
from
roll
one
them
place
up.
to another,
Like Play-Doh
but
sweet
all in
shot
one
alarm.
go. It basically happens
Fireworks
where a
coming.
person is
Turn our
attached to a
world
rope
upside
holding
down.
them up, such as a crane. The setting is moved to reveal a different background behind. This is used in the media to catch people's eye. The idea of an advert is to make people want to buy the product, so ideally you want them to watch the whole thing. This type of practical effect is good for that as it intrigues.
But if he stopped
the
using
audience
lady
as they
scented
want to
body
know how
wash and
it's
switched
done
to
and what
Old
happens
Spice,
next.
he could smell
An
like he's
example
me.
of this
Look down,
effect being
back
used
up.
in the
Where are
movie
you?
is the
You're on
Old
a
Spice
boat
commercial.
with the man your
It's
man
because it
could
helps
smell
follow
like.
the storyline
What's in your hand?
and
Back at me.
enhances the
I
story
have
behind
it.
it.
It's an oyster with
Another special effect could be prosthetics. Prosthetics are basically an artificial body part. This is where the actor's body parts or features will be enhanced by using different materials and media makeup. They are used in the media industry as they help develop the characters and who they are, and also helps the storyline. This is important as if it was a witch movie, you would want the character to look like a witch. So through the use of prosthetics, you can do this. A witch is stereotypically seen as having a big nose and warts. These can be added on a normal person's face through prosthetics. You can get all different types of things that can do this, such as wax and silicone. As an example of where this is used is the movie The Hobbit. It is used where the hobbits have really large feet, so they are pre-made to be able to fit on the actor's foot like a shoe, but then blended in to make it look real. It is also used a lot more in the film, such as for the elves' pointy ears, where the front of the ear is made so there's a little lip on the back where it can hook over the top of the actor's ear so it looks real. Special effects are used a lot in horror movies. One of the main ones is using props. Props are created by making a real-life looking item, such as a head that will mimic the actors, so that it can look like their head's fallen off or had their arm sawn off. These are mainly used in media to make things look more realistic, as you can't really just chop someone's arm off. They help enhance the storyline as it makes it more realistic. You can get all different types of props, such as masks, brooms, and things that can be used within the narrative that will be important in it. An example of this being used in the media is in Scary Movie 3, when one of the girls gets killed and her friend walks in on her face all messed up and scared, and as she gets closer the head just falls off the body. The first visual effect that I've chosen to talk about is green screen. This is a visual effect also known as chroma key compositing or chroma keying. This is done in post-production, where compositing two images or video streams together based on colour hues is done. What happens is there is a solid green backdrop where actors perform a scene in front of. Green is used as a not very common colour and to have on everyday clothing. It is important that the green of the backdrop does not match the colour of the person or any of the props used, so that will be edited out. The footage then produced from the green screen set is then put onto a computer where the green background will be edited out and replaced with another one. This is used in media when things or locations are hard to create, such as an explosion in the background will be added via green screen, where if a person needs to be in a different location that they can't film the scene. An example of this is the music video to the song I Spy by Kyle feat. Little Yachty. This effect of the artist having children's body is created via green screen. They would just have been sat down and acted it out, and then in post-production it would have been cropped just under their heads so their bodies aren't in it, and then added over the top. Another visual effect can be compositing. Compositing is where two or more different images or videos are added together to create the illusion and effect that they are all part of one scene, not different ones. It is created in different ways. It can be done by going through the footage frame by frame and adding in the effect at each frame, or it can also be used via an effect being created on a computer, such as an asteroid, then put on with a green background and layer on top of it. This is used in the media to create illusions that we cannot create safely or in the real world. An example of this is in the film Salt. There is a big fight scene in this movie where they're all shooting guns at each other. We know, of course, they aren't real guns and bullets, so how does it have the muzzle flare? This is created in post-production by layering an image of the flare onto the frames and making it look realistic. Colour grading is one of the most popular visual effects used in all types of media. This is where the footage is altered or enhanced to change the colour. This can easily be done on any editing software such as Premiere Pro by adding an adjusting layer and then following from there, editing the colour how you wish. This is used in media as normal film footage can be quite dull, and by colour grading it enhances the setting, such as if you think of a movie scene in a desert, you think of it as orange and dusky. This is done by colour grading, as it wouldn't have been that pigmented in real life. An example of this effect used in media is in the film The Conjuring. This film's footage is colour graded to look darker, as the film is sinister, and by being darker and duller it makes it creepier, having a deeper effect on the viewer as it makes it scarier for them.